So, Gilbert, I heard we got an interesting email from one of our other attorneys today.
Interesting is probably the friendliest word you could use to describe this. I would say shockingly hostile action from somebody who is not yet even in a position of authority. So what's going on right now is, and I'm going to have to give you a little bit of background to fully paint the picture here, but back in 2020, after Virginia passed universal background checks and VCDL sued them over that matter, the case has been pending all these years. It's been moving forwards, and as these cases often do, taking a lot of time. The judge out of Lynchburg focused on a particular issue. And what he really focused on was the failure of the General Assembly to think about how the law would affect 18 to 20-year-olds and their ability to acquire handguns. Because by forcing all transactions to go through the background check process, and FFLs, of course, cannot do background checks under current law for 18 to 20-year-olds for handguns, he essentially, the General Assembly excluded 18 to 20-year-olds from being able to acquire handguns. And in October of 2025, the judge looked at that particular issue and said the law is so flawed because of that issue that the law cannot be enforced. I'm going to strike down the entire background check law. So he didn't get into whether background checks as a whole were unconstitutional. He didn't get into whether delays were unconstitutional. He just said that particular flaw ruins the entire law and struck it down. So that's the end of October 2025. Fast forwards, the government had until December 1st to appeal that decision. Now, as you and I have talked about in the past, we have not traditionally thought that Attorney General Miyares was a huge friend to gun owners. He's been actively fighting on this case as well as several other cases, and yet he may have been intentionally handing gun owners a parting gift because the appeal deadline, December 1st, ran out without an appeal lodged by the government. And on December 1st, Attorney General-elect Jay Jones, who, by the way, is no different than you or I right now, Philip. He doesn't take office. He hasn't sworn an oath of office. He does not represent the Commonwealth of Virginia until he takes office and until he swears that oath in January. Attorney General-elect had a private outside D.C. law firm file a motion for extension of time to allow an appeal, asking to have until January 30th to appeal the ruling striking down the universal background checks. And I really don't think it is a motion for extension of time to appeal. I don't think he has standing to do that. As I said, it's no different than Joe Blow, my neighbor down the street, who is in favor of background checks, saying, I want to appeal it. Sorry, you can't. It's up to the participants in this case who are currently represented by the current sitting sworn Attorney General, Jason Miyares, and kudos to them, by the way, for electing not to appeal this decision. And yet AG-elect Jones thinks that he can intervene with an outside D.C. law firm to come into the case and ask for an extension of time. And I hope the judge sees this for what it is, and hopefully the judge quickly concludes that he doesn't have standing to make that request. He can't decide what is best for Virginia prior to taking office.
Yeah, this is a bad omen for him. It means that Jones, I don't know, maybe he doesn't even understand his own job. That he's been elected to do. The fact that he even thought that he could do this. And why is he, again, I guess he thought he'd been elected and he wants to take away the rights of gun owners.
Yeah, it certainly shows the hostile position that we're going to be facing come January.
Yeah, that's most unfortunate, but it's just egregious that he would do something like this. I mean, I was shocked to learn that he was trying to do this. And like you said, he's using an outside law firm. He's got no standing at all. But a D.C. law firm, what standing would they have?
And hopefully, the sitting Attorney General, Miyares, takes offense to this and says, no, this is still my job until my time runs out. So let me do my job and make my decisions.
Yeah, this reminds me of what happened with Stamberger and our current governor. She was already starting to do a bunch of stuff as if she was the governor. He had to call her down on that and say, no, I'm the governor, you're not. So,
well, as I said, I think this should be a clear-cut issue, but hopefully the judge sees this for what it is.
So all we can do at this point is, I guess we will respond to this with the court.
Ultimately, I think that Attorney General Miyares should respond to this.
Sure.
Attorney General Miyares, and traditionally we're not on the same side of things, but I think Attorney General Miyares should be responding and saying, thanks, but no thanks. I get to make the decision still.
Yeah, he is the elected official.
And just to be clear, that's not to say we shouldn't also respond and point that out.
Right.
And it's too soon to predict how this plays out, but it should be a joint filing. The Attorney General and we both agree on that point, I would hope.
So what would be, if the court somehow granted this, what would that look like? Would it be a stay? Would it just be, we wait a month or two for a court case to come up? What would happen?
It would look like an extension of time, and then I would fully expect January, Attorney-elect Jones is scheduled to take office January 17th. I would fully expect January 18th to see an appeal filed.
Okay.
Lobby day, right? Am I wrong?
Getting close. What day before? The 18th, I guess, would be a Sunday. The 19th is the lobby day.
Okay, so January 20th, we would expect to see an appeal filed if this extension is granted.
Right, yeah, after the holidays. So
we'll talk about it at lobby day when we hopefully see all of you that are watching.
And hopefully this won't get extended, and we will at least be safe until July 1 of 2026 with private transactions.
That is the hope.
Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate the update.
Absolutely. Nice chatting with you, Philip.
Thank you, Gilbert.